after every Thursday game.
Doesn't happen though.
Can you believe that?
Well, you're Thursday, yeah. It's hard.
After Thursday, every week so far. Except for the first week when I didn't have anybody on Thursday.
Right. Okay.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Chris, I don't know how your team's not as good. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking
Strike 3, see ya. What's up?
We're
We're back. The boys are back. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing alright. How are you, David?
Doing wonderful. Doing
That's
wonderful. We're here. There's playoff baseball. It's October. Can't beat it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying nothing. I'm not saying it. We talked about it last time. Not starting out the same way we have 95% of our shows. Not doing it.
It wasn't. Last week it was about 60. So
Yeah. Well, we're lowering that average.
does playoff baseball excite you?
I think it's a lot more fun to watch than the regular season, to be honest. I really don't watch baseball, if I could be honest, on TV. I just don't watch it.
I think the
It's too long
only
of a
good thing
season.
about it is that it's on during the day, so it's like you
Yep.
can have it on, and
Yep.
you don't feel like you have to just be like intently watching it because you might miss one thing, but then
Right. It's a
You
sport
didn't
that you
know
don't
this
have to
much.
watch technically every pitch. And like, it's not like football where it's like, it's first, like every play kind of matters.
yeah.
This is like, it was another pitch.
Oh, there's another pop up to center field.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about baseball.
Nope, we're not here to talk about it. We got other stuff to talk about.
We're here to talk about football.
Starting with college football.
Okay, college football. What do we got?
Well, I will say this. This is kind of random news before we get into the weeds.
Lay the random news on us.
So this is kind of new. Gonzaga added to the Pac-12.
Yeah, saw that.
They don't have football,
Right?
but
But it's for all sports that
for
they.
basketball is huge.
Yep.
Every other sport they have is big. I don't know how many other sports they're really that big in. Basketball is obviously the biggest one.
Biggest one. Do you
But-
think that's a good move for them?
I think it is. I
Okay.
think it is. I think now this is the. I mean, what were they in the Western or the WAC?
They were in the WCC, the West Coast
WCC,
Conference.
West Coast Conference, and
Yes.
yeah, I think this will be good for them. I think it is good. So we'll see how they play. I think they should fare pretty well.
I mean, it doesn't really change much. They were constantly at the top of the WCC, specifically for basketball, which is their biggest sport.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the WCC, and it's not like any of the top of the Pac-12 current teams that are going to be the Pac-12.
Right.
It's not like any of those teams scare you.
No, they're
if
not
you're
going to
Gonzaga.
compete with them.
Like
No.
if you look at the history of all those teams compared to Gonzaga, you'd probably say Gonzaga's the best basketball school in there.
100%. They're going from just a smaller quote unquote conference to the
Mhm.
Pac-12 to still most likely dominate.
Yeah.
So
Did you see the other team that's in? There's a school that's in there?
now, is there a new one?
I believe so. I want to say it's UTEP.
Yeah, UTEP honored to join. They're joining the Mountain West.
And Mountain West. Okay,
So they're joining the Mountain West. So they're replacing
Texas State was talking to
Cox.
Mountain
Yeah.
West. Not anymore. Okay,
So
there you go.
there it is.
So Gonzaga. I mean, it's kind of weird when schools don't have football, but they're joining a conference that is probably pretty big at football.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to me, but. Oh no.
It is what it is.
Yep.
All right, last week. What do you want to start with? Upsets? There was a few.
There was a few.
There was a few. Two big ones. Ole Miss lost at home to Kentucky.
Yep, that was Saturday. Ole Miss did not look good.
No, which was surprising. Granted, I will say this, and Kentucky's defense is very good.
Yeah, they've had a couple close games.
I mean, they played Georgia very close. They
That's what it
played.
was, yeah.
Now they just beat Ole Miss.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, tough game. I mean, maybe they're decent. Their offense just isn't great. So
I think they're just like muck up the game.
yeah, 100%.
And then, I mean, that can be a good thing if you're playing good teams. It can also be a bad thing if you're playing bad teams.
Yeah,
It's
makes
like
every game close.
it's like Virginia.
Basketball.
Yeah, they muck up every game, but keeps the close. It keeps the good teams close, but it also keeps the bad teams close.
Right. It's like those games that you should win. You play the muck-up games, so then you keep them around, and you don't ever just dominate teams.
Right.
But
Yep.
So yeah, that, and then Utah. Utah was another loss.
I mean, they didn't have Cam Rising.
Apparently, yeah. What he's been out the last like 2 or 3 years.
he's in and out always.
I know that. I thought he was supposed to come back this game. Or he's always supposed to, I feel like, come back. He was supposed to come back against the, who they played the week before? Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh no, they have this other guy. And it's a huge difference when.
Huge difference.
So.
It definitely does not give them as much of a leash when they're playing good teams.
Right. 100%. 100%. Speaking of Oklahoma State, lost. Kansas State got smoked.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, not the best performance from them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Technically, it wasn't an upset. It was just technically a tough game for them.
It was a very tough game. On the road, not a great look for them.
Mm-hmm.
Although Utah losing does give a glimmer of hope, but still not great.
No, still going to be tough when you lose. I mean, you basically now have to go win the conference.
You have to win the conference championship,
Yeah,
correct.
so.
Which would put them exactly where I had them in the playoff, but it's not looking likely, I don't think.
Right. So, we'll see. A lot of seasons still left.
Yeah.
A lot of
Uh,
options.
the other game that probably should have been an upset,
Yeah.
Friday,
With?
Virginia Tech.
Oh, yeah, Miami. Yeah.
What'd you think of the call? Did you see it?
I didn't see the call. I saw the call, not live, I should say. I guess I saw the call after the game, like on
Okay.
Twitter and ESPN or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. The one thing, too, I will say, like, Miami's offense is electric, and Cam Ward is very, very good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, like, they have good wins, but then they also, like, you just almost lost to Virginia Tech, which is not good.
And I think they're better than people might think.
They're 2-3 now.
Yeah, but they're better than people think.
Yeah, I think better. But if you're a top 10 team and you're the ACC,
They got a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's an athletic quarterback.
Yeah.
But if you just, I mean, it's just crazy to me. You beat Florida, then you beat South Florida, who's supposed to be okay, but now you beat Virginia Tech. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I still think Miami is still a powerhouse, and don't get me wrong, because of their offense, but at the same time,
Yeah, 100%. They are a powerhouse.
scary. Cam Ward
They should. It should. I think that I was shocked when they overturned the call
to incomplete.
to incomplete. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I thought there was no way that they were gonna overturn it. So basically, to catch people up in the 5-second overview, Miami was winning by 4. Virginia Tech had the ball, threw a Hail Mary. Guy caught it, bobbled it a little bit. It came popping out. They called it a touchdown on the field. They reviewed it, and they overturned it so that it was an incomplete pass. But I was shocked when they overturned it.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy.
It was
Or
like
very
he caught it.
controversial.
And then the guy, he was bobbling it a little bit, and then it popped out. But I thought that he had already caught it. So I don't know.
Interesting.
It was surprising.
But a win's a win.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think it changed. I mean, the rankings now have changed a little bit. Granted, it is interesting because these teams, I feel like the teams at the top kind of just keep interchanging with each other, like the top 5 or 6, maybe 7, but it's just
Let's see
then
here.
the rest
There
of the
are-
teams.
I mean, Georgia was up there, and then you had Texas. So Georgia was always number 1. Then Texas bumped up to number 1. Now Alabama's number 1. So I mean, Ohio State's kind of been in that range too. Yeah. So probably those 4 really, and now Tennessee has gotten a little closer. But right now, I mean, Alabama and Texas are in a league of their own, and then Ohio State's kind of slotted in there by themselves at 3.
Yeah. It's just because I think Ohio State also, I don't even think they've played anyone.
Ohio State?
Yeah.
No, not really.
So they play at home against Iowa, which they'll smoke, and then I think they go to Oregon. So that's when it starts to kind of pick up a little bit.
Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah, we'll see. I mean, like you said, I think a lot of those teams are still in. I mean, you look at Alabama's schedule, they got to go at LSU, which is always tough, at Tennessee. I don't know. It's tough. They're obviously the best team. They proved it. Which, don't get me wrong, transitioning now to that game, which is probably considered the game of the year already.
Do you think it overtakes San Jose State, Washington State?
Yeah, I would give San Jose State a close second, but I would say that takes over.
It's definitely worth having a conversation.
I think the hard part is the viewership.
Most
for
people
Alabama.
probably saw this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, right.
Okay.
So if you weren't listening, you have to go watch maybe the highlights of the San Jose State? If you
You
heard from
should
last week.
definitely watch the 2-minute highlight
Yeah,
reel of that game
Yeah.
because it was awesome. San
Yeah.
Jose State, Washington State. It happened not this last weekend, but the weekend before. What was that? The 21st.
21st.
Or the 20th, because it was Friday night.
Yeah, so
It happened on the 20th
2 weeks ago.
of September. Look that up if you haven't.
Yeah,
2-minute highlight tape. That's all you need to see. But it was excellent.
yeah.
But Alabama, Georgia.
Right, and that, I will say this, for being as hyped up, I think a lot of people, I mean, the first half was gross.
It was a bloodbath.
Alabama literally came out and was like, I thought it was almost over after the first half and was like, this is bad. And then all of a sudden you knew Georgia was going to make a push, but then all of a sudden Alabama, the hardest part about
the
it,
push was made strong and fast.
100%, the hardest part that even the announcers made a good point, the hardest part is Alabama doesn't know how to play slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't know how to play slow. Like, they're always going to be in the shotgun. They always want to go. Like, Jalen Milroe wants to throw it, wants to do all that stuff. So it's like, it's hard when you have a quarterback like that who essentially just keeps going,
Mm-hmm.
when it's like, hey, we actually need to slow down right now. They just
Yeah.
don't have that. But great game. I mean, holy moly, the last like 3 possessions were literally a deep ball.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It's like the defenders just had no chance.
They really didn't. I mean, it was awesome too because I was surprised that Alabama. I mean, granted, it was one play, so it's not like they had to have a really good drive sustained, but they. I mean, they hadn't really had to play offense the whole second half up to that point, and then all of a sudden they're losing, and it's like crap. We haven't like really tried that hard on offense this whole half. Now we actually have to go and score so that we win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was impressed that, I mean, it was one play, but it was impressive that they were able to kind of like flip that so that they win.
Well, it was kind of also interesting where it was like Georgia kind of came back and then they took the lead, and it always happens where they show the fans and every fan is crying because apparently they're in love with Alabama football. And then all of a sudden, literally one play deep ball to a kid who is 17 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
How many times did that get brought up?
Oh, all the time.
Jeez.
Well, there was so many tweets after the game that was like, this guy basically just beat Georgia, and he can't vote, he can't drink, he can't do like all this, like rent a car, he can't buy cigarettes, he can't, like the tweets were just crazy, and it was like,
he also apparently his NIL valuation doubled.
oh, as it should, 100%.
Went from approximately 750,000 to 1.5.
Yeah, well, dude,
Really?
think about, you just beat Georgia.
I know.
I mean, boosters probably were like, here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Hey, please stay here for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You can have all of this money.
The funny thing about it is they were doing interviews with Kirby Smart, and they asked him about him, and he's like, of course I know him. We tried to recruit him.
Right.
Like, what do you guys want me to tell you? Like,
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
wanted this kid. We knew he was special, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, so crazy. I mean, I still think it is one of those things that it'll be interesting now. Texas, hopefully Quinn Ewers can come back because now they're starting to get, I mean, Oklahoma, then they play Georgia at home. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia.
If you think Georgia
Alabama
loses
and
twice,
Oof.
are they still in?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think they're automatically in, basically, just because they're Georgia? I mean, that might be their only 2
Not
losses.
automatically.
If they lose 3 games, but they still have to play at Ole Miss, home against Tennessee,
yeah, they got
at Texas. They got a hard schedule.
I
Yeah.
mean, last year they did have a cakewalk the whole year.
100%.
So, I mean, it makes sense that they have to at least play somebody this year.
Yeah. Well, I also think
they
it's
play all of the somebody's.
right. Well, it's just as I think one of those things where it's like you have to go to Alabama and to Texas
and Ole Miss.
and Ole Miss. Yeah. So we'll see. Obviously,
So
still
how
a
many-
dominant team, but
Of the Texas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, how many games do you think they win and lose? Like, what's their record in those 3 games? Georgia.
to be honest, I think they potentially lose to Texas, and then I think they win out. So I think they only have 2 losses the whole year.
Okay.
So like they will beat
They'll
Tennessee.
lose one of those 3 and they'll win 2.
Yep. So they'll win they'll win 2 of the 3. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I still think they'll make the playoff. And to be honest, if you have 5 SEC teams in the playoff somehow, cool. It's the best. I mean, that and the big. It's like crazy. Should make our own little just Big Ten SEC Final Four.
They were apparently looking at SEC Big Ten like schedule.
Oh, I heard they were talking about
Yeah,
that for 2026.
Yeah, something or other.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Be great. Also, what happened in that game?
Okay.
After the game,
Okay.
Heisman. The Heisman. What is it called?
What happened?
Odds.
Okay.
Jalen Milroe
Uh-huh.
went from plus 700 to now the favorite at plus 210.
Wow.
There was people, I'm not saying which people because I think Mel Kiper's an idiot. Oh, wait, I said his name. I think he's an idiot. He now said that Jalen Milroe should be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Number 1, huh?
Number 1. Granted, hey, don't get me wrong.
Who was the number 1 before?
Carson Beck was up there. Quinn Ewers is up
See,
there.
I don't think Carson Beck's all that great.
No, and that was the hardest part about that game is I think he's good, but I think at the same time what's crazy is there were so many throws that he underthrew his guy and his guy made a good play.
What is he like elite at?
Exactly. I don't know. It's a good point. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not a quarterback guru,
Right.
like some people are proclaimed to be, but like
I'm not either.
No, yeah, I don't think either of us are. But like, I feel like if you're number 1 overall pick, you have to be like elite at something.
Yeah.
You know, like there needs to be a reason why you're the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe is athletic as heck.
Right.
And-
well, in today's day and age,
he can chuck it.
yeah, and in today's day and age, it's like, all right, these bros, like,
Yeah,
we need an
why wouldn't
athletic
he
quarterback.
Be
You could teach a guy to throw a
consideration?
ball.
right.
I mean, I shouldn't say teach a guy to throw a ball. He can still throw a ball, and he actually is probably one of the best deep ball passers. But at the same time, you can't teach his athleticism, and he's huge.
Yeah,
He's a load.
He's an absolute tank.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll
So
see.
he was number 1, Carson Beck.
He's number 1,
He'll
and then
probably be top.
no, Carson Beck actually is like number 6.
Oh.
So it goes Jalen
Oh,
Milroe
for Heisman, not draft.
drafts, and I think he actually might because you have like Shador Sanders,
Yep.
you have Cam Ward now, you have Quinn
Cam
Ewers.
Ward's older though, so I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be as highly drafted.
Right, I think you have Quinn Ewers who's special.
Yep.
So
I think it'll be Jalen Milroe.
I think it'll be Jalen
and
Milroe.
Shador.
Yeah, I think
it'll
Shador
be
is the body
between those two.
But I think the hard part about Shador is they've already come out and been like, "There's only X teams that can draft my son."
Well,
So hopefully you're not on that list.
we'll have to see what those teams are.
But so it goes Heisman odds right now where Jalen Milroe,
Okay.
Cam Ward
Plus 200.
plus 210 is Jalen Milroe. Cam Ward's plus 500.
Okay, so he's in a significant lead.
Right.
Although
Travis,
it is college football, so they can change very fast.
100%. Travis Hunter plus 750.
Wow.
Alshon Genty plus 1100. Boise State running back.
What is his name?
I think his name's Alshon Gianti or something like that.
Try the first name again.
Alshon?
No.
How do you say his first name?
Ashton?
Ashton. Oh, I thought it was Alshon. Oh, my bad. I mean, he's a beast.
Oh, he's so good.
He has 845 rushing yards already, 13 total
Well,
touchdowns.
fact check me, because I want to make sure we get it right. Yeah.
Ashton.
Okay.
845 total yards.
Yeah, he's so good.
Last year on 220 carries, he had 1,300 yards. He has 82 carries and 845 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry.
And the thing about it is, so often it's like, obviously Heisman, it's basically like the MVP for college football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if Boise State makes the playoffs, like
He has to be talked about.
he has to be the one.
Right, like he's the guy that is literally carrying this team.
He's literally the only reason why they're in contention.
Yeah. Well, I
At
think
all.
the craziest thing about it is when you look at, like, for all the gamblers out there, when you look at his yards, it's always like 150, 160, and he gets it almost every game.
He's minus 1,000 to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and on the third play of the game, he breaks a 70-yard touchdown. It's like the
Yeah.
guy scored. He has 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, in 4 games.
Yeah. So,
Well, we just had 4, so that helps.
yeah, I think he's been having a lot. So, we'll see. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Games this week. There's a few big games this week.
Wait, are we doing impressed and
Oh, yeah, you can go to your impressed and depressed.
and disappointed?
Yeah, not impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was your impressed?
The start of BYU.
Not the end.
I mean, they won.
Yeah, they were up like 28-0.
Yeah, but they started very strong.
Yeah, they looked good.
Them and Colorado were my two.
We just talked smack about Colorado.
I
I will say Colorado, did look very good.
Their offense is just clicking.
Yeah.
Those are my two. Impressed.
Yeah, I would actually say I was very impressed by Kansas State to come back after a tough loss and beat a good Oklahoma State team.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the only, and then Alabama we've already talked about enough. But
Yep. I had a lot more disappointed.
Well, my big disappointment was Ole Miss.
Yep.
I mean,
that was number one.
I mean, both teams that got upset, Ole Miss, you could say, and Utah, both at home.
Yep, both of those are mine.
So I would say both of those teams definitely make the list.
Yep. Did you have any more?
I didn't have any more.
The other three that I had: Oklahoma State, related to your Kansas State.
Yep.
Miami.
Yep.
Because you kind of knew that their offense at some point was gonna go, but it took a very, very long time for them to go.
Right.
And Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oklahoma's tough.
Dude, they changed quarterbacks. Not this most recent weekend, but the weekend before. They changed quarterbacks to a young guy. He's super athletic. But it's like...
Freshman, isn't he?
Yeah, freshman, young guy. You know when quarterbacks are younger and they're not as confident in their ability to throw the ball? I can't think of a good example. Maybe for some reason, I don't know if this is true, but Anthony Richardson's come to mind.
I would actually say, to be honest, a young Lamar Jackson. Bro was not wanting to throw. He would just pull it down and run.
Yeah, you drop back. You literally look at one person.
Yeah,
if they're not open, then you start running.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a young,
dude.
Rookie quarterbacks fall into that a lot, and young, I think college quarterbacks really fall into it, where
especially
it's just
if you're athletic.
And even I think that's the key with a lot of the difference is, I think for a lot of those guys, it's in high school, they're so used to being able to just outrun everybody.
Right.
You look at even a Caleb Williams
that.
this year for NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's so used to in college running in circles and then being able to throw it. This is the NFL, dog. You ain't doing that.
Right.
And so I think it's a growing.
Yep.
There's
100%.
definitely those growing pains. So yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. So they need to figure it out, because that was brutal to watch and they could not do anything. They're playing Auburn.
Yeah, and I will say, I think a lot of teams, what's hard now is a lot of teams, they have depth, so they have maybe a good young second backup quarterback, and it's okay, this guy's struggling. Let's go to the backup quarterback. And it's they're so quick.
Yeah, I was surprised they went to him so early, but I mean now they're going with him the rest. You kind of have to stick with him now.
100%. You win a game or even plays.
Yeah,
you have to do that, because it's also it's the same argument with when you talk about NFL with Justin Fields. You can't just not go with Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, that's a good person.
Right, yeah, pulls it down and goes. Yeah.
Oh,
It's just all these running quarterbacks in college that you can't do what you did in college.
Yeah.
Pros. Everyone's fast, everyone's athletic. You
Yeah.
just can't.
It's true.
So,
alrighty, this week.
I mean, there's really one big
Mizzou.
game. Yes. This is where Mizzou has to
finally
prove
get to know if they're actually legit.
they're legit. And to be honest, they're not going in with the most momentum. They played a lot of close games. They played Vanderbilt close. They haven't looked as good as
one would play this last week, did they?
No. Their last game was Vanderbilt. That was, what was it, a 3-point game?
3-point game,
Yeah, they almost lost that.
They almost lost to Boston College, who's good.
Boston College was ranked at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree. I think it is hard, because it's just I don't know. We'll see. Georgia-Auburn is usually always a fun game. I think Georgia will slaughter them after that loss to Alabama. Because now...
Is it out?
It's at Georgia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So now the hardest part is, especially in college, I feel once you lose a game, you just have to smoke teams to really show hey,
but Georgia won't, because they're playing enough good teams where
Correct.
It doesn't really matter.
Correct.
They just have to make sure they win.
No, 100%. But I'm saying it is one of those things where it's hey, let's...
Because they play Texas, they play Tennessee.
Yep.
Two of the
they actually
four
play Texas
teams,
next week.
2 of the 4 teams that are above them are currently.
Right, so they have to dominate. They will. I think they'll be fine.
They just have to win.
Yeah. The other kind of interesting game, Michigan going to Washington. Washington's actually favorites. Michigan is 2.5-point dogs. I think Michigan has looked not great. There's some controversy from the Minnesota game. I get it. But even the game before against USC, probably shouldn't have won. they just don't look as good. I mean, they run the ball every play, but
every play because they can't throw it.
yeah. So
So I mean, that's literally what we were just talking about with.
the quarterback for what did we just say? Oklahoma.
No. Back to what we were talking about at the beginning, whereas like the when you're playing better teams, the games are closer, but when you're playing bad teams, they're also closer, so it gives you potential to lose games.
Oh yeah, you don't smoke teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
No, we were talking about that for the beginning. Was that NFL?
We haven't talked about NFL yet.
No, I don't know who that was then.
Okay. Well, anyways, Michigan
No, that
games, all those games are going to be close because they play a style that.
No, that was Virginia basketball.
Yeah, but
We were talking about Virginia basketball because we talked about Gonzaga, and then we said Virginia basketball also plays a weird style where they just don't smoke teams, so they catch themselves
it
in
was
trouble.
related to football. I'm pretty sure,
We'll see.
but I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, anyways, Michigan will be close
It always is going to
against
be.
Washington,
Which
and
it
then
shouldn't
they
be.
play Illinois the next week, and it'll probably be close again.
Yeah, Illinois is a good team.
Okay. What else?
That's all I got for college.
Love it. That's all I got too. We're moving on to NFL now.
NFL big news. So here's a question for you.
Okay, big news.
Actually, some would say almost breaking
Lay
news.
it
Well,
on the
it's not.
people.
So you have elite players, and now it comes out that there's some players after this game, after the Raiders lost their game, that were making business decisions to not play hard and to not play the full 4 quarters.
Okay.
If you're a coach, maybe stay off social media, but if you have a main player and now it comes out that you're potentially going to you're taking on trade talks for that player. If you're that player, how do you feel being on that team? You don't want to play for that team, right?
No.
So it's like, do you just kind of sit here and say, hey, I don't want to be here anymore, so get me out of here? It's kind of hard.
Well, they already said they're
Gonna
listening to trades.
No, I know, but you still have to accept a trade then. But if you're the player and the trade doesn't come, do you play? Like, you have to play, right?
No.
You could just sit out the game.
You think he hurt his hamstring or he's sitting out?
I think he hurt his hamstring.
You do?
100%.
Okay, we're talking about Devontae Adams.
Yes, Raiders, Devontae Adams. Coach Antonio Pierce made an idiot decision liking a tweet that he shouldn't have liked.
You think he actually liked it on purpose or it was a mistake?
The reality is this, in today's day and age, I actually don't know. Because if he's probably there's so many followers and stuff that if you like it quick and then unlike it, there's probably someone that caught you liking it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also at the same time, my instinct is if you're scrolling Twitter and you accidentally hit the heart and you hit it right away, there's very small chance that anyone did. And if it then goes to Devontae that says, hey, talk to Devontae, then they haven't even talked. He came out and there was an interview with Devontae that said, hey, have you talked to Antonio Pierce? He goes, no, I haven't talked to him at all. What do you mean? You're the star player.
I mean, he's hurt.
If he didn't actually mean to like the tweet, it should be a simple conversation. Then that's like, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Like, it's not liked anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's possible.
I don't know, but I think it will be interesting to see what teams give up, and maybe now, like
Well,
I
all
said,
they want is a 2 and plus other stuff.
picks, right?
I don't know, picks, players.
Yeah, money. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's got to get out of there. So we'll see. It's
People
just
were talking about him getting out of there before the season.
yeah. Now
He just makes a lot of money, so it's a little harder.
what's harder for teams to pick up that? Yeah,
Correct.
and he's kind of getting older. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But it is one
do
of
you
those.
actually think that he's hurt, or do you think that he was told / said, "Hey, I hurt my hamstring. I need to take it easy."
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, I initially wanted to say, okay, he probably was hurt, but now when you really think about it, like the bro probably
For all the reasons that you just laid out.
yeah, the bro probably just wants to get
You
out.
said
so it's
it.
like, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Is it that like? Is that you can? I mean, I guess
How
you
would
could
anybody
probably
know?
do that. Yeah, but we'll see. It's one of those where it's like the guy. Like people in the NBA or people do whatever, and it's like, oh, this guy's been hurt all year. Then all of a sudden he gets traded and he's back to 100% playing the next day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Or you want to know what else it is? It's like friggin' college football, and it's becoming bad thing is these players are just literally faking injuries left and right to get an extra timeout. That is getting annoying.
No, I will say this.
That's ridiculous.
I will actually say this. They do need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Because this is what's baloney is the fact that because then you don't have to use a timeout. Then
Right.
it's like a ref's timeout.
Exactly.
And the worst part is, it actually happened in the NFL too. Aiden Hutchinson did it yesterday. He's next to the sideline, and then all of a sudden he's next to the sideline, and all of a sudden his coach goes like this, and he
Yeah.
falls down.
Exactly.
That should be like a 15-yard penalty or
There was
something.
another video that the Ole Miss
quarterback Jackson Dart
told the running back to just like drop down and fake an injury.
Yeah, when you look at your running back and you go,
Yeah,
like, dude, the
point
guy's
down.
not hurt. But the hard part is then it's like one of those things. It's like you seem like it always happens where it's like they go on a little run and it's like an offensive lineman's just too tired, so he's like, I'm going down.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But it's just, I think there has to be some kind of, I don't know, penalty, something during the game that's like, hey, you can't do it. But then it's also one of those where it's like, how do you determine that he's not actually hurt? You know, maybe you go to the booth and you're like, hey, can you show me, the Jackson Dart one was obvious.
So obvious.
So it's just
when
obvious.
you're literally pointing down at the ground and looking straight at the person.
Yeah.
And
so
then they make the most outrageous drop to the ground ever.
right. And then instantly he goes out maybe for a play, gets no treatment, and he's back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
no, I agree.
You just have to
That's
sit out one play.
yeah.
And
That
if
to
you
me
play a
pisses me
position
off.
that
That's
has
stupid.
other people. Yeah, it's stupid.
It's stupid because
That's
it's like it doesn't cost you anything as an offensive player.
Mm.
So
As long as it's not in the last 2 minutes, which you're not going to be doing it if it's in the last 2 minutes.
right. So we'll see. So
Yeah.
maybe he did hurt his hamstring. Maybe we'll see if he's back.
Okay.
I guess we'll see if he plays this year if he doesn't get traded,
This week.
or just in this if he doesn't get traded. If he's just like, I'm sitting out the season.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, would that upset some fantasy managers?
Mm-hmm. Tough
Well,
luck.
Tough luck. Yep. So all right, let's start with who impressed you from last week.
Broncos D,
Yep, Broncos were good.
specifically the D.
Yeah, I will also say on the reverse side that keep going.
Not the offense.
No,
the
the offense looks horrible.
stinks.
It's
But
still
the defense is literally winning them games now.
100%.
I didn't realize that they were that good.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
kinda-
when your
kinda
offense
nuts,
doesn't
actually.
score a touchdown in X amount of weeks, you got to do something.
You gotta do something. It's like I feel like there's been teams in the past that have done that same thing. It's like, defense is just so good that it doesn't really matter about the offense. Okay, so Broncos D, Commanders.
I did think the Commanders. Yep.
Their offense is just clicking right now. Third team Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going now. They're figuring it out.
Well, they're figuring it out. I also because I think at the same time they're learning that hey, Derrick Henry is like back.
Hey,
He is good.
just hand it off to Derrick Henry, and then when you don't, just have Lamar Jackson run.
Well, and I think that's the hardest part is it's literally running. You could do the PA play action read every time because no one knows who's getting the ball.
Exactly.
And then guess what? If Lamar keeps it, he can also throw it
Right.
if he wanted to. So
And if he gives it to Derrick Henry, then you get run over by him. And then if he doesn't give it to him, then Lamar can just run around him.
yeah,
And then maybe like dump it off to Justice Hill.
yeah. I think the Commanders were definitely up there. I think their offense. I think, and we talked about this off air. Jaden Daniels is legit.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he is legit. He
He's
is
looking
running
really
that
good.
offense.
Really good.
Over 80% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of it. I mean, the Vikings first half, if we wanted to talk about halves.
Okay.
But
Good.
just typical scary.
That's okay.
But a win's
Still
a win.
got- Still got that lead.
Yep, a win's a win, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
On the
Who
not
are you
impressed.
disappointed.
My disappointed, the first one, we've talked about this team. Well, Jets.
Yep.
Jets
That was my
tough.
team. That was
Granted, that game from the get-go was just, I mean, it was raining, it was disgusting, it was like, but at the same time, I still never understand with teams. It's like, so you have an elite running back, Breece Hall, you
Mhm.
barely use him. The guy had like 5 yards rushing.
Right.
Garrett Wilson has seemed irrelevant. I mean, he's had a few games where he's been great. This was supposed to be like his coming out. You have Aaron Rodgers now. You're supposed to be great.
No.
Alan Lazard almost seems like the number one. I know he's not, but Allen Lazard is getting a ton of targets and playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
My second team, and it's hard to say this, the Miami Dolphins, but you're going up against the Tennessee Titans, who are trash.
Yeah, first win of the year.
Granted, don't get me wrong, when Will Levis got hurt, I hate to say this, they played better. They look a lot better without Will Levis, period.
You're not wrong.
He threw an interception, and he only played for what, 2 possessions?
It's about that probably.
The worst part about the whole thing with Will Levis that is just crazy to me is you can see him on the sideline, and he goes, I didn't even see that guy. Dude, he was right in front of your guy. Like, that's like not good. There it is. So it is one of those things. And my last team was I think the Bills. I think that was frustrating. You have a primetime game, you come off huge wins, you've been dominating, and you scored 10 points.
Yeah.
Like, and I get it. The Ravens' offense looked very good, so your defense, but your offense looked horrible.
Yeah.
You were down 21-3 at halftime.
It was bad.
So, those are my teams.
I got 2 more for you. The Cardinals.
Yeah, I did think the Cardinals too.
The hard part is, so I had Broncos in the good, Jets in the bad, Commanders in the good, Cardinals in the bad, Ravens in the good, Bills in the bad. But then the one other team that I put in the disappointed was the Browns.
Yeah, I will say this.
Oh my gosh.
Hand up, I was watching a little bit. I saw the Browns, like they were on whatever red zone. There was a play, and I don't want to say it was Amari Cooper caught like an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah, 82.
And they called it back for holding, and you watch the offensive lineman, and he doesn't do anything. He literally just nudges the guy.
Dang.
And the announcers,
they're saying
the announcers literally are like, you know when like announcers, they always try to give the refs the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they're always like,
yeah.
Oh, and here it is. Like, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just is kind of frustrating because it's like, I get it, but that play would have changed the whole game.
Oh yeah.
And the Browns defense
they
would
have won.
100%.
They lost by 6 points.
100%. So I do think the Browns this whole year have been very disappointing. Amari Cooper has games where it's like, okay, he looks good, and then there's games where he just drops passes left and right. The Cardinals, I think, were hard because you only score 14 points, and the Commanders are the worst defense in the league.
Right.
Like, if the game was closer,
and your defense is not good, so you know you have to score.
Right. It's like you scored 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating.
Yeah, those are my teams.
Frustrating. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about an update on the awards, postseason awards.
Okay.
See how we're feeling. So we got 4.
Let me look back at what I said because I know it's wrong. Okay.
So we're going to start with MVP.
Okay.
So MVP now the favorite, which...
I had Joe Burrow.
So Joe Burrow's not even in the top 5, I will say that.
Makes
so
sense.
you got Mahomes plus 250, Josh Allen plus 350.
Mahomes ain't winning it.
Stroud plus 950, Lamar plus 1,000, Sam Darnold plus 1,100 sneaking in there. This is what I'll say.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I like any of those guys.
I think CJ Stroud has played fine. I think Lamar will turn it around. The thing that pisses me off about this
is he hands it off too much.
Right. Yeah.
But he has been playing well, and they'll probably finish with a very good record.
And they'll make the playoffs and whatever. But the worst part about this thing is like MVP. Mahomes has played like trash.
Right.
How is he the favorite? Like, I don't get it where it's just like, it almost seems like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, we're basically giving, it's a popularity contest. It's like All-Star games sometimes. It's like the same guys get voted in.
Right.
It's not the best players. It's just, okay, I think Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen's had some good games, and they just lost their first game.
No, 100%. I think Josh Allen is fine, and Josh Allen, especially with that receiving core, is making him look great and also playing great.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you said, CJ Stroud sure has kind of shown some ups and downs, but...
Okay, I'd take back not liking any of them. If I had to pick any of those, I'd pick Josh Allen for sure.
Josh Allen 350. He's just running. He's athletic.
He can run it in.
Yep.
His receiving core is terrible. Mm-hmm. So if he's the one throwing all of these touchdown passes, they have to go to somebody, and they're kind of no-name guys. So if they're doing well, then he's doing well, and that's got to be a good bet.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see.
Who would you pick?
Oh, I'm sticking with CJ Stroud still.
Really?
Plus 950. I like the odds. And I do think they'll be fine, and he's going to come back, and he's going to... like you said, out of all these guys, he easily has the best receiving core.
Yeah.
The best weapons.
Yep.
Easily.
Totally.
So, we'll see. Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
A little bit closer, we got Saquon Barkley plus 430.
Yep.
Derrick Henry plus 470.
Yep.
Jetta's plus 600. The next closest was like plus 1400. So it's basically
Okay,
those top
Jets.
three. Jettas has scored a touchdown every single game.
Let's go Jets.
He is playing very well. Also, a
So
big
he's
reason.
playing so well.
Also, probably a huge reason why Sam Darnold is playing so well. But this is what you do when you have an elite player.
That's right.
I mean, some of these catches he's making, it's like 3rd down and 6. Well, you know where the ball's going.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. You can't stop it.
Yep.
And I think it will only get better once Hawkinson comes back.
Yeah, more people to guard.
More people to guard, and it just, you
Less
can't.
attention.
100%. And it's like even like the last game against the Packers, you look at it, it was very difficult because the first few possessions, Addison was like the guy.
Yep.
And then Addison ran in a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and it's like now you got to guard Addison. Now you got to guard Aaron Jones out of the backfield. Like, I think it is difficult. So I mean, Jettas is a fun bet. I mean, that's a good bet.
I like it. What do you think about this take? Either Derrick Henry will win Offensive Player of the Year or Lamar will win MVP. One of those will happen. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't
Because
think
you
it's bad. I do.
expect the Ravens are going to keep winning.
Correct.
They're very good.
I would say just based off the odds too, but I would say Derrick Henry winning the Player of the Year is probably more likely just because, like you said, it's hard when Lamar hands it off. Don't get me wrong, Lamar will get his rushes and get that, but I know
Right.
he's now going to want to hand it off more.
Maybe.
So
Maybe
we'll
not.
see. I think it will be, that could be interesting. Do you think that's more likely than Sam Darnold winning MVP and Jettas winning Offensive Player of the Year? I meant to say or. So either the Vikings package or the Ravens package?
I'd probably say the Ravens package is probably more likely to happen, but
Yeah. I think it is crazy though. I think if the Vikes win our division, you got to give some chatter.
got it.
So then now we're going over to one that's probably already done. Rookie of the Year. Just had another one. Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels, minus 150. Malik Neighbors and Caleb Williams, plus 600.
Yeah, Caleb Williams completely shit the bed.
No, I think, and the hard part about Caleb Williams is like I said before we talked about him, the hardest part about him is he just runs around and then he tries to make a play. It's like, dog,
Yeah.
you have, and don't get me wrong, your receiving core has been somewhat injured, yada, yada, yada. DJ Moore is good. DJ Moore made Justin Fields look great. Throw him the ball.
He hasn't been helping Caleb Williams like that.
No, he doesn't look interested at all playing. So it's very difficult. I think Jaden Daniels, obviously,
Jaden Daniels is dominating.
he's elite.
I'm surprised that Malik Neighbors is still that far behind Jaden Daniels.
Plus 600? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he's
Because
definitely
he's the number one receiver in fantasy right now
100%.
as
He
a
is
rookie
balling.
in 4 games.
100%. He is balling. And I also do think Marvin Harrison was like plus 1,200. I do think Marvin Harrison is playing well, but I do think when you compare, apples to apples? That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jaden Daniels is obviously the favorite, but Malik Neighbors definitely is a closer second than the odds might give him.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a 2-man race pretty much between Defensive Player of the Year. Your guy's in here.
TJ
Watt is plus 340. Aiden Hutchinson
There's
plus
go,
250.
baby. Okay, second place right now.
Second place probably could be up there for first. I mean,
Take
that's
that.
pretty much plus 250 and plus 340. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, that's about the same.
So,
Okay.
I mean, TJ Watt is a freak. Like, he
He's
is
so
scary. That defense is good. They're 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Aiden Hutchinson, who had, 5 sacks in one game?
I think that was 5, yeah.
5. I think it was like some tied the record
Very
or
impressive.
something. Yeah. Can't beat it. So, all right. Week 5. It's upon us. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody while you have a chance?
I'm going to give a shout out.
I think you should give a shout out to our friend. And you know what I'm talking about. It was rivalry week, Chris.
I already texted him and said,
You didn't want to give it publicly?
I said, good job.
Yeah. That's it? Just good job. The nice thing is you guys get to play each other twice.
Yeah, I'm going to read the text.
We're talking about our buddy Chris Lesh. We know you're watching this. Beat Chris Narum. Some would say it was going to be a long shot.
I texted him after my guy A-Chain got stuffed at the 1 2 times.
Yeah.
I said, so close. Couldn't get the last yard, period. Good job.
Okay. And what do you say? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Did not expect it.
Oh, well, okay. Never does.
Yeah.
But a win's a win. Was that his first? Second win? Second win of the year?
Second win, yep.
So
I'm sitting at 1-3. You're also talking to the top of the league currently.
but might not be like that for long. This is not This is foreign territory for me.
Hey, you want to know what's funny?
I've matched.
My one win is Dave's one loss.
Yeah, and Chris also had high scores, so I don't feel bad. But I helped him. Actually, what's crazy is I think I had the fourth highest score that week. But Kamara balled out. What is crazy, though, is I think I have tied the amount of wins I had last year.
Wow.
Right, this year.
Wow.
And I didn't lose the league. I did not lose the league.
Look at you.
But I think I had 3 or 4, so I'm on pace, doing well.
You're ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule. All right, last thing, week 5. Any games you're looking forward to? Any games catch your eye? There's a lot closer spreads this week.
Thank goodness.
So if you guys want some knowledgeable picks, follow the TikTok. Let us know.
Your boy's hot.
Yep. The people are doing well. There are teams on a bye. You got Lions, Titans, Eagles, Chargers on a bye. That is starting. Buys are starting.
The game I'm most looking forward to is probably going to be the Bills and the Texans.
Yeah, I think that's up there. I think
There's only one other one that is intriguing to me.
I think Bills, Texans. I think Ravens, Bengals.
Yeah, those two.
Those
two are ahead of.
I actually will also say Steelers, Cowboys isn't too bad because the Steelers defense against the Cowboys offense, who granted last week balled out.
The Cowboys offense?
Should say CeeDee Lamb
They
balled out. So it'll be interesting now because you know the Steelers will not allow CeeDee Lamb to do what he did. So who else is going to do it?
Maybe not.
Who else is going to do it? We'll see. Those are the only games. Vikings travel to London.
Yeah, we're starting the London games.
8:30.
Get your alarm clocks out.
8:30.
8:30 Central Time.
So,
also, I know we did this video a little while ago about time zones. I was thinking about it more. My time zone was Central, and yours was Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Mountain Time does not get a lot of love.
Which one's Mountain Time?
It's between ours, between Central and Pacific.
Oh, so like
it's
an hour.
1 hour, 1 hour behind Central, 1 hour ahead of Pacific. So instead of, you look at college football, you start at 10 instead of 9 Pacific, and instead of 11 Central.
Okay.
And then on Sundays you start at 11, so you end a little earlier.
Wait, what states are that?
It's like the tweener. Like
what is it called?
It depends on when
daylight savings, right?
Daylight savings.
Is it called Pacific time?
That's called Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain.
But I don't believe that there's a mountain, an MDT. I think there's only a MST.
States that do Mountain Standard Time.
But you want to know why I don't think that Mountain Time gets any love?
What is that?
Because nobody lives in those states that like sports. They don't have as many professional sports teams.
Oh, so like Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is, and I just got back from Arizona. Mm-hmm. It is interesting because right now, Arizona is 2 hours behind.
Right, but then it goes to 1 hour.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So it depends on daylight savings time.
Yeah.
But I feel like nobody ever says, "Oh, Mountain Time's the best time zone to watch sports." But like, if you think about it, it's only 1 hour difference, so it doesn't start at the crack of dawn on Saturdays for college football, and it doesn't end at midnight when you're on the East Coast, or even 10:30, 11 o'clock when you're Central Time. It's like that happy middle, and it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Colorado, Montana, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, then part of Arizona.
Yeah.
So the only team that has professional sports is Colorado, right?
In Arizona.
In Arizona. Wait, Utah.
And Utah.
Take the Jazz, yeah. But, I mean, yeah. It is always crazy to me where it's like these states, it says, are split between Mountain Time Zone and Central Time Zone. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, and we've talked about this actually with like the time zones. I don't understand how states are split. Like, so if you live right on the border, can you just move a mile? Or if you go a mile past, it's 10 o'clock, and if you go a mile this way, it's 11?
Yep.
That is crazy to me.
Uh-huh.
Also, I thought this is a conversation for a different time, but I thought daylight savings time was like going away. Wasn't that talks like, hey, we're gonna propose a bill that says daylight savings time?
Was it like this November? Maybe.
Is it just gone? I will say it always does feel good when you get to fall back.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good when you
Spring
roll forward.
You got to spring forward.
Oh, spring.
Yeah, see, that's
Maybe
how you remember
why I'm not
Chris.
doing it.
Yeah. We're only falling back.
Yeah.
We're only falling back. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, with that extra knowledge in your brain now, we can
Wait, so this game starts at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
All right, so if you're a West Coaster, 6:30.
Yeah. See, that's terrible.
Yeah, even 7:30 is pretty.
7:30. I mean,
In this sense, 8 Central Time is the best. 8:30 because 8:30 at least it's like okay, I can sleep until about
Well, hey,
8.
my sister's
8:15.
going to a bar to watch the game at 9:30.
See, 9:30. But then the hard part about it is every other game, this game doesn't start till 8:20.
Yeah.
So
It's terrible.
hopefully she's not at the bar all day. Maybe though.
Not just Spike's game.
So all right, it's cool.
All right. Peace out.
See ya.